wasn't the best Miss Piggy by any means.
Oh, that was pretty good, dude. Your Kermit the Frog is fucking dead on, though.
Well, it comes naturally.
Whoever dies at the Muppet Show and does Kermit, that's your job, dude.
I might have to kneecap him. Is that what you're saying?
You might have to. You might have to Tanya Hardin that bitch. So did you watch the IU basketball game last night?
First off, welcome to the Straight Red Card.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to Straight Red Card. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it, hit the bell. Bing. No. Hit that bell because that's becoming extremely important. Apparently, people are not getting notifications even when they do hit the bell. So I guess I don't know how good the bell works.
Make sure you check your phone settings and verify that notifications is enabled for YouTube.
The next time you pass a YouTube employee, punch him in the face
or in the middle. That's what my kid calls nuts.
Oh yeah, nuts. He calls it the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like, Daddy, I gotta go use my middle?
No, it's more like, she stepped on my middle.
It's about Charlie. Shit.
But now
your son's already getting his nuts crunched.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But the funny thing is now he goes, "Oh, you hit me in the balls." And I can hear Evie upstairs going, "Jackson, we don't say that." And they're like holding back a laugh.
I'd be like, yeah, you go for it. That's what they're called.
Testicles.
They're called the nuggets, the testicles, the fuzzy ones. But so yeah, make sure you do all that while we talk about the fuzzy ones, and don't really punch a YouTube employee. I was joking. That's not serious. You could kick him in the fuzzy ones though, if you want to.
If you know a YouTube employee, send them our information. Let's get in contact and ask them why all the hard-hitting questions.
And this has all been a joke, so you can't sue us. Can't sue us.
Sure. If somebody comes and kicks you in the middle, what's because of us?
In the middle. In the middle. I just don't consider the nuts the middle. I think that's like your belly button. Isn't that the middle? I mean, like, if you had no arms and legs,
I mean, if
the belly button definitely is the middle.
If the foot is coming up, in between your legs is the middle, because your legs are going to be the outside. Middle is going to be your crotchal region.
It's certainly the middle of the inside of your thigh.
There you go. Problem solved.
But, man, all right. So we'll move on. Oh, by the way, just a little bing bing thing. Mexico had a friendly today against Chile. And it was a 1-1, I think was the final. I didn't watch the whole game. But I only watched to see.
Did Ochoa play?
Nope. I just wanted to see if Araujo played. He went 90 at right back. Efren Alvarez rode Pine for 90.
It's a thing.
So there's that.
There's talk about for that Tata was talking about for the December friendly. I don't know if they have another December friendly coming up, that they're going to give the opportunities to the Mexican American players who have signed over.
Well,
I don't know if this was considered that or if they have another one scheduled later on.
Well, Julian got a shot, and they've already given Efren other shots. But as I have said for a while, as an LA Galaxy fan, Twinkie Boy is not going to be a great player. I'm sorry, he's not. He's just not. He's this staying fit and healthy and
what if he stayed fit? Would that be different?
Well, he doesn't seem to have any inclination to not look like a Twinkie. So, I mean, I don't know. I'd just say right now, my inclination is no. And I don't think he's as super fucking foot skilled as everybody said he was. I think he's a really somewhat talented young player, but he's got a long ways to go if he thinks he's going to ever play for the Mexican national team. I got to say that for a fact. All right. So there's that. And then we were going to talk about, is it time for Pulisic to leave Chelsea? And this is a question brought up by some of you, but also somebody else has addressed it on YouTube already. And I guess my first thought for that, Brett, is
I think Max Brett is the
OG, Max.
OG
that's right.
Talked about it. Yeah.
Oh, did you see that guy was like, "How dare you call yourself the OG?"
Oh, nobody said. Did somebody say that really?
Yeah, man, they just were
Oh,
taking it to Max. He's like,
that's rough, man.
I think Max responded to it on one of his shows. He's like, man, if you don't think I'm the OG, then you're just not paying attention. Although
around,
I
man.
am,
Been around.
I'm older than Max, so there's that.
Well, I don't know if he was saying OG for his age. He's just been around the whole YouTube announcing shenaniganry for a
dude,
while.
I was around before YouTube existed.
Doesn't count then.
So doesn't that make me the soccer OG? No offense, Max, but I'm older than you are. I've been around longer. I watched Pele play. Did Max watch Pele play? I doubt it. I bet you he didn't. I mean, unless he's a lot older than he looks.
I don't think it necessarily. I don't think he's talking about being in the sport of soccer OG. I think he's talking about. Quite frankly, I think it's all just a play on words, anyways, and it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm just busting his balls.
Yeah, and Max, the only thing I would suggest is not to start all your titles with the soccer OG.
Yeah, that's not going to help your
that's not going to help your algorithm. Yeah,
at all. In fact, I noticed it's hurting his algorithm. So,
well, quite frankly, we don't have consistent starting points for our titles, and we're still going to hit. But
yeah, but he's getting hit worse.
Unless people on YouTube are specifically searching, soccer OG, it's not going to help.
Yeah, no. Oh, by the way, the Mexican started. What is his name? Carlos Acevedo is who started at goalkeeper.
Oh, okay.
And Ochoa didn't even make the team. But Ochoa might still be crying in his Cheerios after that last RSL game. I don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah, he might not have been included for that reason.
He might need a rest. Okay, so Pulisic leaving Chelsea.
All the bantering Ochoa did during the playoffs, man. You gotta love it.
I do.
Because he's doing it, and you gotta love it that it backfired in the end.
I just think he's gonna end up eating a big shit sandwich like he did this time.
But I mean, think of the character. That is so great. It is so much fun to have that type of character. People are getting so bent out of shape about it, and it's just like, oh come on, this is fun. This is just fun to witness.
It's kind of funny because people that I know who are sort of around the U.S. soccer team have said that one of the things that was a little irritating from Ochoa while he's with the U.S. men's national team was his attitude. He's just kind of a prickly pear. Like, he's kind of
like he had the incident early in the season where he booted the ball into the audience. Remember that? After the game or something like that?
Yeah. Some people would say he has a bad attitude. Some people would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were bitching about that too. And I stand firm on the fact that I still loved it. I still love that. Having these characters in the league, I think, is only going to improve it.
We got to find out going forward if this is a funny character or somebody who's just a little erratic. And there's good. Erratic's fine. John McEnroe could be seemingly erratic, but everything that he did was very calculated. Like, he would get upset. He would yell. Yes. Quit pontificating. Everything he did was very calculated to give him the advantage. And he played better when he was mad. Mm-hmm. So, you got to make sure that that's what's going on here, that this kid's really in control. This is a plan. This isn't something he's just doing on a whim, because eventually you're going to do something on a whim and it's going to get you another shit sandwich to eat. So, and in trouble. So you got to be careful with your teammates, with your coach. So I think, Ochoa generally I'm fine with him being with Mexico, but I'm surprised he wasn't on this cupcake squad.
I'd be curious though if he stuck with the US. I wonder if as many people within the league would be upset with how he was acting.
I think people are just.
Or do you think it's possible that they're just upset that he didn't make the transfer and then he's still acting like an asshole? But quite frankly, I'm fine with it.
I think butthurtism in general is so broad at this point. Like people must be standing around grabbing their ankles to be that offended by that
Yeah.
or that bothered by it. It's
talking about how Pepe should return the Young Player Award and give it to him instead, or MLS needs to give it to him instead. That's fun. Come on,
he's being cheeky. Let him be cheeky. Don't bend over and let it bother your cheekies. All right, it's not
you get
that
cheeky
big
in
of a
return.
deal.
That's how this works.
That's exactly right. Don't get butthurt. Just be cheeky back, and that's how that should work. Honestly, or we're never going to get to this question, are we?
All right, that was that show. Join us again on the next.
All right, Pulisic to leave Chelsea? No,
he
shouldn't.
Not in January. The end. Okay, next episode. No, so seriously. So I was doing some research because when this came up as a topic, I was like, man, maybe some news came out that I wasn't aware of. So I'm looking around, nothing news come out. But I did come across a quote of within the last 6 days, a journalist by the name of Paul Brown. I mean, maybe he's known in his English standings. But he said an exit would only happen if Pulisic were suddenly to turn around and start agitating for a move and decide, I've clearly got no chance here. The manager doesn't like me. I should be starting, and I'm not. I don't hear that at this moment for his camp. From his camp, from his camp. So basically what it sounds like is that there's really no talk unless Chelsea gets an outrageous bid in January. I don't see him going anywhere.
This is just it's too premature.
He spent like 4/5 of the first half of the season.
Injured.
I know it's a lot of fractions, but 3/4 or 4/5 of the first half of the season injured or with coronavirus. So I said the word beer bug. I don't think it matters that I say it afterwards. It's already the toothpaste is already out of the tube, guys.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Rona.
But he's really only played like a handful of games this season. I mean, I know there are a lot of teams that are going to be interested in his services by Barcelona, whether it's Liverpool, but I personally would prefer him to stay at Chelsea. He's getting minutes with Tuchel. He may not necessarily be starting every game, which is what everybody wants and he wants. But it's a tough bout to get about. But he's getting time, and he's recovering. And I think maybe come the summer, we'll see what happens. But let's at least get him some grounding.
Well, if Chelsea sold him right now, they would lose money. Number one. Number two. If they do play him and they start playing him at right wing back constantly, yes. Then if I'm Pulisic, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not a right wing back. I'm not a right back. Don't play me.
Most of the games where he's played right wing back, he started at right wing, and then they brought in like Ziyech.
Yep. Ziyech.
Or Hudson-Odoi or anything like that, and then they pushed him back. Right? Is that how it works normally? He doesn't actually.
Yeah.
Has he actually started at right wing back?
One time.
Only once? Okay.
It was a while back.
I think that shows more like Tuchel.
It was left wing back, I believe. Oh. It was for Chilwell at some point, but it was a long time ago.
Was when he got injured or whatever?
Well, when Tuchel was fucking around with all these different setups. So, okay. If for the rest of the season, Pulisic is healthy and he doesn't start every other game, because that's kind of what's happening right now. He starts, he doesn't start. He starts, he doesn't start. He starts, he doesn't start. But he's getting minutes when he doesn't start too. Produced the last goal, saved Chelsea's ass in a 3-3 tie. So I don't know. I just don't think it's time for him to panic. No. Although I don't like Tuchel's setup and I don't think it benefits Pulisic. I mean, listen, he's played as a back, as a center forward, false nine, as a pseudo winger, as a
he's played everywhere.
Forward. I mean,
outside of goalkeeper and center back.
Right. He's been all over the place. That's a little unsettling, but you're still getting minutes. Mm-hmm. And let's see if Tuchel can figure out where Christian belongs.
I think the odd thing is that he's only got like a handful of games, but he's played like every position besides center back and goalkeeper. I think that's the concern part.
It
But
is concerning.
again,
Yes.
what this tells me is that Tuchel. I may be reading too much into this, but maybe it looks like Tuchel wants Pulisic to get minutes. Period.
But
Somewhere
Tuchel,
on the pitch.
look at how much he fucks around with this lineup, dude.
Sure.
I mean, you've got Ziyech plays, then he doesn't play.
Outside of Hudson-Odoi and Pulisic, has anybody else really been shifted randomly out of position?
Not out of position necessarily, but certainly shifted. Mason Mount plays everywhere. You mean
he's a Chelsea darling, so
Havertz plays forward, Werner generally plays forward. But a lot of guys.
It's always boggled my mind because I mean, outside of this last Champions League game, Werner hasn't produced anything for almost 2 years.
And people have been talking about Werner leaving too. So listen, I wouldn't buy this. I know that Max is like, Pulisic's got to go. He's got to get out of there.
You gotta go.
This is one of the times where I just feel like I'm less radical than Max. I think Max is being premature.
Again, he's getting again, when healthy, he's getting minutes. He may not be starting every game, and he might not be running 90 minutes every game, but he's getting minutes for a top team in a top league and getting, Champions League minutes. He's getting cup minutes. He's getting league minutes. He's getting time. Let him run it out. And if after a spell of being healthy, if he's still only getting like 12 minutes or less of match, then at that point, say, hey, can you guys just transfer me over to somebody else who actually wants my services, because I can't do this 12-minute gig.
I tell you who doesn't want him to leave: Chelsea fans.
Yeah, I saw a number of tweets about that too. Like they're talking about during the Champions League, like, yeah, this is the roster that I would expect, but why isn't Pulisic starting?
Yeah, you get a lot of that. George Benson, who's the prolific YouTuber, Chelsea guy. I mean, he doesn't want Pulisic to go. I think he's been very positive about Pulisic. And most Chelsea fans are.
Well, again, so when he's healthy, he's generally pretty good for them. So let's let him get healthy again.
And that's the only criticism. Yeah, it's the only criticism a lot of fans have, is that he's been injured a lot.
Yeah.
So other than that, when he's healthy, he generally plays, starts, then he comes off and gets 20, starts, comes off and gets 20, then he gets 15, then he starts. No reason to panic yet, unless they start him at right back, and that becomes the thing.
And I will say, if Liverpool or Barcelona comes out and offers a ridiculous sum for his services, then sure, okay, fine, whatever.
We know Barcelona's not going to come out.
Well, they don't have the funds.
They don't have any money. All right, so they're going backwards. So no, but say use Liverpool as an example. If they come out, they offer a bid that Chelsea can't refuse. By all means, make the move. But I'm not saying let's actively pray and hope that Pulisic leaves. Let's give him a chance to get healthy and regain his form. Chelsea's killing it at every level. He's not going back to Dortmund, people. I saw that rumor. Yeah. No, that's not happening.
Well, I wouldn't say fuck no by any means, but I mean, there's really no need. I mean,
it's not a horrible team to play on, but he's not going back there this soon. Because really honest, unless Dortmund have some sort of plan or plot, and if Chelsea want to lose a whole lot of fucking shitload of money.
Yeah. Well, Dortmund's definitely not going to pay that much money for him.
No, they're not. They'll pay like maybe 40 mil.
They're going to look for the new hotness as far as an offensive player,
Yeah.
And pay pennies on the dollar and then sell them for ridiculous sums.
They'll go steal that, Zenit kid center forward, They'll go out and buy. Dortmund do all kinds of really interesting things, and then they have, youth too. They build from their youth clubs. So, yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, going back to Dortmund doesn't seem like a real possibility. But you know what? We live in a very weird world, and it could happen. But I don't see it happening. But I do see it posted, and I'm thinking, what are you people smoking?
This falls in the line with the tweet I sent you earlier, where it's like, insert, big club here, keeping an eye on insert player here. Yeah, all the big clubs are keeping an eye on all the players. I think it had to do with Pepe.
Yeah.
It was Pepe?
Yes.
Somebody, I think it was Pepe.
Yes.
But they're like, yeah, so-and-so club's keeping an eye on Pepe. I'm like, well, no fucking shit, they're keeping an eye on Pepe.
Yeah, everybody's
keeping an eye on all the big players,
Listen, I walk my dog every day in my neighborhood, and I keep an eye on all the houses in my neighborhood. What does that mean? That I'm going to buy any of those houses? Not necessarily, but I'm keeping an eye on them.
Shit.
I keep an eye on some of my neighbors, make sure they're okay. I'm not keeping an eye on them to steal their shit.
Well, that brings me up to a fun story, in all honesty, because when we were back at our old house, my wife always looked out and would see all these cars pulling up to this one house, 3 houses down from a T. And she was like, there's something going on over there. I don't know what's happening. Are they dealing drugs? And, this is out in Noblesville. It's just in the middle of a cornfield. And I'm like, you're looking too much into this. One day I come home and there are like 8 cop cars around this house and they're arresting people. Yeah, they were absolutely selling drugs out of this house. People would pull up, walk into the house, 2 minutes later, walk back out and drive away. So okay, here's an instance of keeping an eye on your neighbor. It actually paid off. It was just like Dortmund keeping an eye on everybody, and it pays off.
She was right.
Yeah, Evie was right. Don't let her know that. She'll never let down.
Really?
No, she's not like that.
I didn't think so. I don't think that would have happened. Okay. So we're going to come back with one final show where we answer some of your really odd questions.
We do.
These are some of my favorite shows when we answer your questions, but apparently they're not the most popular, but we're going to still do them. Fuck it.
I feel they're a big draw. They just may not necessarily get all the clicks, but I feel like people enjoy them. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that is all that matters.
These Q&As are basically a repayment towards the people who constantly listen to us.
Screw YouTube. We understand they're screwing us right now. Don't worry about it. Keep watching the show. We appreciate that because you're keeping us breathing and alive while we're trying to figure out what are YouTube doing. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to say. And it could be that simply Brett and I say fuck too much. Probably. And I did notice in the last show, not the last one we just did, the last third segment of the last show, you said fuck at least 50 times during the show. So
that'll happen.
You broke my record. I mean, I was like, damn, Brett's like, fuck this, fuck that, fucking this, fuck that. Yeah. So, maybe we should.
May have broke the record there, though.
We need to say Farca, although somebody got in trouble for that. Yeah. Or we say the Falkland Islands. Maybe we'd go with that. Islands. What the Falkland is happening? All right. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma, and hit that bell. Bingy, bingy, bingy. Good.